Sarah Palin.
Right. At this point, you really need a good segue to talk about Sarah Palin.
Apparently, she's not been to China. Of a many countries she hasn't been to.
She didn't even have a passport until 2 years ago, which means she could only have gone to Canada.
She's been close to Russia. She would like a spit on Russia.
That's right, as Steve Ducey pointed out on Fox and Friends.
Right. That may or may not be the extent of her foreign policy experience, but she does like to aerial hunt wolves, which I find appalling.
Yeah.
As our good friend Jason Liggins pointed out, it seems more like aerial hunting and wolves would be good for taunting.
Yes.
Like, it's not very sportsmanlike. If you just wanted to, like, yell at wolves,
Right.
like, aerial hunting would be fun.
It's very uneven, unfair. It's unfair fighting.
Speaking of unfair fighting, I think actually the question we should answer. Here, that was a segment.
Yeah.
That was a segment.
Now I'm curious what your question is. I have one
The
too.
McCain campaign has been saying that the media has been going after Sarah Palin like wolves.
Really? Are they saying that she fights like a girl? I think they've been saying that.
That's part two. Let's go. Do you think the media coverage of Sarah Palin?
I don't think that. I also think Hillary has, in the last year and a half, sort of broken all of the barriers. And ironically, Sarah Palin is reaping the benefits of Hillary.
That's right. 18 million cracks. That'll do something to a ceiling.
Yes.
I do not think the media has been unfair to Sarah Palin at all. This woman has been, not only has been a mystery, has been completely unknown to the media, but has also been unknowable. She announced Friday morning. They announced Friday morning. Where was her Sunday morning talk show tour? Where has any media availability been? This is a woman who is not available. Every other person that has been vetted for VT is someone who the national media has been able to interview, speak to, and bring to the voters. This woman, they've been keeping her voice heard in a way, rather like, say, a pregnant teenage girl might be kept away from society.
Except that this pregnant teenage girl is not being hidden away from society. Okay, here's another
But who do we have to name for that? Because I think Jamie Lynn Spears has a lot to do with our level of
It is weird. Do you know what the gift was?
It was a $50 or $60 pink bib from an LA clothing store Jamie Lynn Spears sent to Bristol Palin. That's nice. XOXO.
And who's a celebrity now?
Exactly. Linus was saying that before. The irony is that McCain accused Obama of being an empty celebrity and invoked, Britney and all of that is now that those very celebrities have gotten inured is a better word.
Yeah, I think the celebrity culture has inured us to this sort of storyline, making Sarah Palin and her daughter far more acceptable than they would have been even just 4 years ago.
They've all seen it on recently in Dawson's Creek.
That's true. I guess I have to confess that I find just this whole line like really, I just feel bad about it. Really think this is a part of our conversation. Part of our conversation is not a serious conversation. We're not having a serious conversation. Let's face it. Like
About which part?
about this pregnant teenage mother making his choice. Fateful choice. And I'm not saying it's a bad choice. Fateful. I mean, that's
Sure, but it's a sad choice in the sense that.
it has to be a sad choice.
Well, no, but I think it's.
Barack Obama, Obama's mother.
But even Sarah Palin said that our daughter told us what had happened to her that will hasten her into adulthood before she's ready.
See, I said to Rachel earlier, I'm worried that between Jamie Lynn Spears, the entire cult of fetishizing pregnant celebrities, and now the entire sort of GOP accepting Sarah Palin and her daughter and almost elevating them, suddenly teenage pregnancy is going to seem like a way to get positive attention. I feel like it's almost to the point where it's getting promoted.
You know what? I think I have to disagree with you. Because I think that having been a female teenager, and
I was one too.
yeah, I don't know you guys are also familiar with that. Pregnancy is scary. The idea of it. I just don't think that was
Well, I think
I just don't think it's
the idea that there's no dialogue here that is not being tainted by the overarching political agenda.
There's always going to be like some idiots that think that they can be Michael Jordan and some There's always going to be some idiots that think that if they get pregnant and she is pregnant at 17, she can be Sarah Palin. There's always going to be like teenagers who make incredibly bad Bristol Palin. Sorry. There's always going to be teenagers that is like the exact definition of being a teenager.
But speaking of incredibly bad decisions, can we just talk about the fact that John McCain chose Sarah Palin and apparently no vetting ever went on?
They're post-vetting VP choices.
I can't vote. What kind of betting does the
Hey,
country want? On the
Canadians,
country.
why didn't you tell me?
Well, I don't knowing anything about her, about the decisions, having surrogates being able to answer questions. What kind of tough decisions has she made?
I think that what the next from now until maybe November is going to be, let's wait for the other shoe to drop. How many national fire teams are dispatched immediately to VP State to dig up the dirt because it hasn't been dug up already?
Now here's a question, which is totally serious. You know that vetting is not an official process, right? Like you realize
It's certainly become one.
The security check is an official process.
How long has that been for 2 months?
Right. And not only that, his vetter was vetted and been watching.
I'm not saying that vacation has been for 2 months, but I do think McCain perhaps should have met her more than once and vetted for more than 2 days.
You know, what if everything is very in secret? So we have to be asking that question.
You know what's funny is she seems to have a lot of secrets.
True, but
And those are the only ones we know about after 3 days.
But I think the speech is 2 hours, so what do we think?
actually, an hour and a half.
Okay.
So we think Rachel took so long to get out here.
Yeah, that's right. It's,
So